Hello, and welcome to Traditional Stitches FlossTube video, lucky number 13. I'm Janice Spencer, the owner of Traditional Stitches, and this is Rose Heck.
Good morning, Janice.
I understand that you had a birthday a couple of days ago.
Oh my goodness. You never said that before.
So a happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Good. So today we're meeting on a special day to draw and announce the winner of the antique sampler for our Morrison stitch along. So we're going to tease and tantalize you with that and do it at the very end of the video. And we're just going to have a little bit of a catch up in between.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So what have you been up to, Rose?
Well, as you had said previously with my birthday, and we had an anniversary, so these are special numbers. I started a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm not going to show that. And the reason being is because that's the amount.
Right. And I think you did a pretty good job of sharing some of those photos on Instagram as well. So if people can follow you on Instagram, and I'll put that information below, then you will see some of what is in those special bags of roses.
Correct. That's probably the best thing, instead of me spending an hour to show you. And I don't have a lot on each one, you know, a thread or two in each one, and we, you know, call it a start.
Well, and we'll show them gradually as they progress through the coming year for our upcoming new stitch along that we're going to start in a few weeks.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So I'm working on, actually, I just finished Eliza Martha Linfoot month 3.
Oh.
So for those that are maybe following along on Facebook, she's a gorgeous sampler from Hands Across the Sea. And I'll show you the chart. Okay. So that is Eliza. She's this gorgeous sampler. And I'm working on 46 count legacy linen in the colorway Nightingale. Mm-hmm. Okay, Nightingale. Back in the summer, you called it hot chocolate. It was the color of hot chocolate. So every time I think of the color, I think of hot chocolate, not Nightingale. So I have to look it up. So there is my take on her so far.
She's so pretty.
She is very pretty. And, you know, it's kind of funny. I work on this in the evening, and my hubby sits beside me, and he looked over last week and he goes, "That is so pretty." And it's like, I stopped and looked at it and went, "Thank you." It's like, wow. You know, so even the men like it.
Points for Rob.
Exactly. And I have 2 other pieces I'm working on. I'm not going to show them because they're out of print. And that would just frustrate people and, you know, look for it. So if you want to follow along what I'm working on, go on to that Instagram post of mine and you can see photos of it. I actually haven't posted for a while. I guess I've been busy with other things. So that is my works in progress.
So all of those starts, was that your birthday present to yourself?
My birthday present and my anniversary present. We had our 40th in October, and then I had my 60th. Yes, my 60th last week. So yeah, that was a hard pill to swallow. So I started 4 for our 40th and 6 for our 60th. And I'm not that kind of person that, you know, can start all the things. I just about didn't do it. And I thought, well, just put 1 or 2 threads in it and then call it, you know, a start. Mm-hmm. And there's a few pieces in there that I went, oh, I kind of enjoy this. Maybe I could, you know, no. I like to see finishes. I am that progress. Is it progress versus process? Mm-hmm. I like the process, but I like to see the finishes, and I like to see them on my walls. So.
I had a video chat with Nicola last night where she was showing me a few of her upcoming releases. So there might be a few new things that you need to add to those
Oh
specs
dear,
too.
oh dear. I've been so good so far, but yeah.
They're pretty good, pretty special. So
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I am mostly moved into my new place. I know I had teased last time that I might have my antique samplers on the wall behind me, but I haven't quite got that far. What I do have is some very beautiful blank walls of comments. So once I have a little bit of time and space to lay them out and decide how they're going to go on the wall, and then I'll do that. But I didn't want to do that in a rush. So
Yeah,
that's kind of a special time thing to do. So
yeah.
I'll work on that. Starting to get a little bit of stitching done, so that is also good. But in the shop, we've been busy. One thing that we did last week was our year-end inventory.
For anybody that Janice and I were talking earlier, and when she mentioned inventory, there was a bit of a grimace on her face. So it's probably a necessary evil.
It is a necessary evil, and it's worthwhile. Like, it needs to be done, but it's not a small job when you're counting skeins of floss and linen by the inch and that kind of thing. So we brought in lunch for a couple of days for the staff and just all got to it and got it done. So that was
Good.
Yeah, it's over, and that's the most important thing.
Good.
Yeah. So the other thing that we've been busy doing is shipping our Esther Blackwood sampler kits. And that is our upcoming stitch along that starts on December 26th. And I guess now's a good time to talk about Esther sampler. So let me back up just a little bit. So the Anne Morrison stitch along is officially over as of yesterday. Yesterday, December the 5th, marked our 12th month of the stitch along. And so now we're working on preparations to move it into the next one that is just going to slide from Anne Morrison straight into Esther Blackwood. And we're awfully excited about the Esther Blackwood sampler. I can't wait to get started on a couple of these motifs. So I might have a little bit of jump around itis on this sampler instead. We'll just see. So this is Esther Blackwood's sampler. And she is a Canadian sampler from Quebec. And there are so many things in this sampler that are special and unique, and can't wait to get my hands on it. So we have shipped all of our advanced orders for the charts and the kits, and so they have either arrived or are well on their way to the recipients. And the stitch along start date is December 26th, which is special because it's also the hat's annual anniversary date. And you and I you're going to be our stitch along leader for this sampler as well. And you and I are going to have a Zoom meeting and publish our next FlossTube video a few days before Christmas, just talking about our process of setting up for the sampler, because it is kind of a big one.
It is.
It's, I think, let me see. I just don't go to it. I think it's like 323 by 332.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I can. Good size sampler.
Okay.
And so we'll just talk about our setup process for a sampler of this size. I did want to remind everybody that Esther Blackwood is Traditional Stitches exclusive. The only place you can find it is on our website. It's not even available on the Hands Across the Sea website. And it is a limited edition. Our last box of charts arrived to us last week. So once we work our way through those, that will be it. And we know lots of people missed out on the Anne Morrison sampler, so we certainly don't want them to miss out on this one as well. So even if you're just a collector of charts and you want to stash the chart, sooner rather than later would be my advice. And you've created another monthly layout for the sampler that we'll be following.
And I can show it right now, just for anybody that's watching. I have it just pulled up, just for my own purposes too. So there is the 12 months clearly labeled. And for those that are looking, it is also on the Ann Morrison and Esther Blackwood Stitch Along on Facebook. And every day I'm always approving new people onto the website. So there are continual interest, and that's exciting. And it's, you know, I must have had a dream about this last week, because I was thinking, oh gosh, month 1 is going to be half that border. That's going to drive me crazy. So I had to look at it the next day and went, oh, no. I have done it so that month 1 starts with just the top border and the top 2 bands. Oh, great. So for those that really like borders and want to get the border in, I have you can do what you want to do. For myself, that always worries whether I make a mistake in the border, I'm going to follow the month by month and make sure that my border is put in correctly.
Right. So you're just going to run down the edges as you go.
Correct. So as we go along, month 1 and then month 2 takes either side a little bit more, and it keeps on going. I'll bring it back a bit. Keeps on going right down to the end. So I think that is, for me personally, it's doable and not so intense on border.
Right. So good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. And
do you remember which motif you like the best?
Well, I really like the Morning Glory motifs, but I also really like that dog in the middle at the bottom.
And for me, I really like the fuchsia and the dog. And my mom used to grow fuchsias. She would buy a planter and hang it outside. And I remember she always had 3 or 4 fuchsia plants hanging out in our laurel leaf willow. And so when I saw the fuchsia in here, I absolutely loved it. But when we talked about it a few months ago, and you had mentioned Morning Glory, and I thought I should really look and see which one stands out, other than the dog. I'm really attracted to the dog, but I like that fuchsia. So.
Well, we're going to have fun with that. And when we have our pre-Christmas meeting to talk about setting things up and stuff, we'll talk about gridding and plans for people who do want to do the border all at once too. Just give some suggestions there, because I know some people are oriented that way. So
I know.
Yeah. All right. And so that's exciting. We do still have lots of silk and linen and everything available for that. So you're more than welcome to join us. And please join our Facebook group as well, because you don't have to be stitching the sampler to be part of our group. And it's been an awesome group this past year, hey?
It has been lots of positive feedback and interest and so on and so on. Lots of meetings of the minds.
So now we're going to move on to the section of video that everybody's been waiting for, the draw for the winner of the Ann Morrison Stitch Along Prize. So would you please just show us your Ann Morrison sampler?
I will. So there she is. There. Okay. Beautiful. I don't put in museum glass or conservation glass when I frame her myself. I don't have the availability, but I do really enjoy framing my own pieces. And yeah, she's hanging proudly on my wall.
So that's an antique frame that you repurposed?
It is a vintage frame. I don't think it was antique. So I was going to cut down a frame, and then I happened to find this one at a thrift store, and it was pretty well the right size. So I did paint it, and I hit a little bit. This one gave me a bit of grief, I have to admit. The vintage color was okay, but it washed it out. So, but yeah.
She's lovely. So I'll explain a little bit about the process that we used to gather the names. We had created the email address where people were supposed to send their photo and their full name to this email address, and that was the only thing that happened in that email address, so that was good. And then over the last few days, I replied to all of those emails just to acknowledge that we had received them, and sent out a newsletter last week that said, if you haven't heard back from me, please resubmit. And we also put that in the Facebook group, so gave people some notice that that was what the process was, and to send in their photos. So then I went through all of the emails looking for duplications, looking for people who hadn't included their full name. Some of them we were able to just figure out what their alias or full name was. And some of them, like an interesting scenario was where people submitted under their own name, but then they also sent in an email that said, my girlfriend so-and-so, here's her photo of her sampler, but she doesn't have access to the internet. So we did have to go through and read every single email and sort it out that way. And then I exported them all into a spreadsheet, and I gave them numbers based on the date that the email came in. So the first one is number 1, and the last one, we actually ended up having 175 submissions.
Wow.
Yeah. So I thought that was
Good.
really awesome,
Yeah.
because that is well over 10% of the number of charts that we sold. So lots of people stash charts like this. So I thought that that was actually a pretty good finishing rate.
Wow, wonderful.
Yeah.
And I'll throw a little caveat here for anybody that's wondering. My name is not included in that for simple reasons. I was the leader, so I would not be in the drawing. So if anybody has that question or concern that, hey, you know, was her name in there and it bumped me out? No, it wasn't.
Yeah, no. And my name wasn't in there for obvious reasons, but also because I haven't finished the sampler. So, and that's the other thing that I did have to go through is we did have a couple people at the very under the wire send us in photos of incomplete samplers. But the rule was you had to be finished. So the incomplete ones didn't. Yeah, that's okay. Yep. And so this morning I got up early and I made sure that I had all the emails into my spreadsheet, and I ran Google's random number generator, and I filmed the video of me doing that, and I'm going to insert that here. Good morning. It is Monday, December the 6th. And we are getting ready to do our random number selection for the winner of our Ann Morrison Stitch Along contest. The prize will be the antique sampler Eliza Nesbitt from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. We had 175 entries into our contest, and so we are just going to use Google's random number generator to choose our winner. Here we go. The winner is number 59, and now I'll go to my spreadsheet to see whose name that is. Here is a zoomed in version of our spreadsheet for the entries for our contest, and you can see that number 59 is Jennifer Blackburn. Congratulations, Jennifer. So the winner of the draw, Jennifer Blackburn, is going to receive the antique framed Eliza Nesbitt sampler from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. So here is a picture of that sampler. And Nicola has also reproduced this sampler, and the chart is available. So if you were really hoping to win the antique and you would still like to stitch it for yourself, you'll find the links below. So congratulations, Jennifer.
Yes.
Nicola will have that in the mail to you shortly.
Congratulations, Jennifer.
Yeah, wonderful. Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, that's a wonderful early Christmas present.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
it will be probably at Christmas.
yeah,
when you get
yeah, considering the time of year and the way that shipping's going and stuff. So,
good. Good.
yeah. So we continue to be pretty busy in the shop, lots of orders, and we're still having supply issues. We have a hand-dyed thread company that sent us an order last week that had maybe 30% of what we ordered in it. And the hand-dyed linen companies are sending us what we can, but they're having a hard time getting enough base fabric. So like the mills in Germany, I know that they've added extra shifts and they're producing base fabric as fast as they can, but we're also gobbling it up just as fast as we can. So there's a little bit of a glut there in the process. And we just need everybody to understand the situation that we're in and be patient with it. And we did still have plenty of stuff to count for inventory, but
exactly. And you know, in the case of people looking for a certain linen, go ahead and order it. I know I have a piece of hand-dyed linen on order and I'm in no rush. But for those that are looking and they're not concerned about getting that certain one, ask at Traditional Stitches and just say, give me an alternative that you have in stock. And they're not going to steer you wrong. They're not going to give you something that is not nice.
no.
And so.
And Marnie is generally the one that helps with substitutions, and she goes all out in her efforts to find something that is comparable. So if she does that work for you, just know that she's putting her heart and soul into trying to help and give the customer service based on what we have available to us. And we had a very wise customer, and she might be watching the video, so I don't want to give away her name, but I do want to say she's the quote of the year, I think, for the hand-dyed fabric and thread situation. And that is that she says, if you don't get into the back of the queue, you won't get to the front of the queue. So that's kind of our mantra these days.
Good.
Yeah. So, and then Christmas is coming, and you're hoping to have family.
Barring any restrictions that come down with this new variant, it's early still right now. And I still am planning to have family over. And yeah, we'll see what happens. So I've got turkey and ham in the freezer, and yeah.
Oh, perfect.
We'll see.
Good.
How about you?
Well, it'll be quiet. It'll probably just be Dad and I. I am hunting for the perfect many piece puzzle, like 2,000 piece puzzle for us to, that would be fun. Yeah. And so it'll be quiet. But you and I will meet before Christmas. We'll publish the video about Esther Blackwood before Christmas. And so that'll be good.
Yes. Exciting.
Yeah.
Kind of want to start it, but I know better.
Yes, which is very tempting.
It is.
Yeah. All right, well, I think that takes care of everything from us today. And again, congratulations to Jennifer for winning the antique sampler, and we will be in touch with you about that. And until then, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, enjoy the season. I had to put up some decorations. I haven't found them all yet in my storage, but I had to make a little bit of a start because it just is such a great time of year to be surrounding yourself with beautiful things. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, Rose, well, take care and we'll talk to you soon.
You too, Janice. Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.